Thanos ransomware. It entered the world not through chaos, but through a calculated launch post. In early 2020, a threat actor using the alias Notorious introduced Thanos ransomware on underground Russian-speaking forums, including RAMP, short for Russian Anonymous Marketplace. RAMP operated as a Tor-based criminal forum, where malware developers recruited affiliates and sold toolkits. Thanos was presented like premium software. Subscription levels unlocked advanced features, including selectable encryption modes and anti-detection capabilities. Technically, Thanos used AES, which stands for Advanced Encryption Standard. AES is a symmetric encryption algorithm, meaning the same secret key both encrypts and decrypts files. It typically operates in modes such as CBC, cipher block chaining, which links encrypted blocks together for stronger protection. The AES key was then secured with RSA, or Rivest Shamir Adelman, an asymmetric encryption algorithm that uses a public key to encrypt and a private key to decrypt. That layered encryption ensured that even if a victim examined the malware, the decryption key remained inaccessible without the attacker's private RSA key. Thanos also experimented with replace techniques, which manipulate file handling processes to bypass Windows security monitoring. Security researchers first documented Thanos by archiving its RAMP advertisement before major campaigns were observed. Its first public footprint was commercial, not operational. MacRansom. The illusion of macOS safety cracked inside a hidden Tor panel. In 2017, MacRansom was introduced on dark web marketplaces accessible through Tor hidden services. Unlike earlier opportunistic malware, MacRansom was intentionally designed for Apple systems. The operator provided a clean web interface allowing buyers to generate customized ransomware samples targeting macOS environments. MacRansom used AES for encrypting files and RSA to protect the symmetric key. The payment method was Bitcoin, recorded on a blockchain ledger that publicly tracks transactions but does not directly reveal identities. The malware targeted common macOS directories, including documents and desktop folders, and appended custom extensions to encrypted files. Researchers discovered MacRansom by infiltrating the marketplace where it was advertised. At that time, many Mac users believed ransomware was primarily a Windows problem. MacRansom demonstrated that attackers were expanding their business models. Its launch strategy mirrored legitimate SaaS, software as a service, platforms, except the service offered was extortion. MacSpy. Surveillance entered the Apple ecosystem through a subscription model. MacSpy was promoted on Tor-based underground forums as Spyware as a service. Buyers paid recurring fees for access to a controlled dashboard. The malware enabled key logging, screenshot capture, microphone recording, webcam access, and file exfiltration. It communicated with a command and control server, commonly shortened to C2. A C2 server is the remote infrastructure attackers use to manage infected systems. By routing communications through Tor, MacSpy concealed the physical location of operators. The traffic was encrypted to prevent interception. What made MacSpy notable was that its first public evidence came from its own advertisement. Security analysts monitoring underground forums documented its pricing tiers and feature list before widespread infection campaigns were recorded. The dark web acted as its product launch stage. Karmen ransomware. Cybercrime embraced the affiliate economy. Karmen ransomware debuted on AlphaBay, one of the largest Tor-based criminal marketplaces before it shut down in 2017. AlphaBay functioned like an online shopping platform for illegal goods and services. Karmen operated under the Ransomware-as-a-Service model, often abbreviated as RaaS. Developers built the ransomware, while affiliates deployed it and shared profits. Karmen encrypted files using AES and secured keys with RSA. Affiliates accessed a browser-based builder that generated customized payloads. The marketplace listing detailed profit splits and feature upgrades. That transparency revealed the business structure behind ransomware operations. Researchers traced Karmen's first public presence to its AlphaBay listing, archived before the marketplace was dismantled by international law enforcement. Philadelphia ransomware. Ransomware became a downloadable product with configuration menus. Philadelphia ransomware appeared on underground forums and AlphaBay listings as a builder kit derived from the Stampato codebase. For a few $100s, buyers gained access to a graphical interface that generated custom ransomware samples. The builder allowed operators to configure ransom timers, choose file extensions, and delete Windows shadow volume copies. Shadow volume copies are automatic system backups stored by Windows. Removing them prevents easy file recovery. Philadelphia used AES 256 encryption, meaning the key length was 256 bits. A longer key increases resistance to brute force attacks. Its first known appearance was a sales thread, complete with screenshots and user testimonials from affiliates. That marketing style reflected how structured and commercialized dark web malware had become. Satan ransomware. The branding was theatrical, but the operation was systematic. Satan ransomware launched as a Ransomware-as-a-Service platform on Tor forums, including RAMP. Affiliates registered through a hidden service portal and received access to a management dashboard. The malware encrypted victim files with AES and appended a custom extension. Encryption keys were stored remotely and protected using RSA. Affiliates tracked infections and ransom payments through a web panel. Payments were typically demanded in Bitcoin or Monero, a cryptocurrency designed for stronger transaction privacy. Researchers first documented Satan by analyzing recruitment posts. Its emergence on underground forums preceded major infection reports, confirming that its public debut occurred inside dark web ecosystems. Janus ransomware. Before influencing global cyber incidents, it was quietly marketed online. Janus ransomware surfaced around 2016 on Russian-language underground boards accessible via Tor. It offered configurable ransom messages and encryption settings. Janus used AES for file encryption and RSA for key protection. Later, portions of its code were reused in destructive campaigns, demonstrating how dark web marketplace tools can influence broader cyber events. Its earliest traceable evidence is not a corporate breach, but an archived forum advertisement offering affiliate access. The dark web served as its incubation environment. Ranion ransomware. Customization became a competitive feature in underground commerce. Ranion ransomware appeared on dark web forums as a polished builder kit. It allowed operators to adjust encryption, strength, and ransom demands. The malware used AES 256 encryption and communicated with remote C2 servers over encrypted channels. Researchers identified Ranion through screenshots of its sales interface posted in criminal marketplaces. By the time infections were reported, the builder had already circulated among affiliates. Its origin was commercial, not accidental. Kronos banking Trojan. Financial theft shifted from vaults to web browsers. Kronos banking Trojan appeared for sale on underground forums in 2014. It specialized in browser injection attacks. This method inserts malicious code into active browser sessions before HTTPS encryption protects transmitted data. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Kronos intercepted login credentials before encryption occurred, bypassing traditional security layers. It was sold as a kit with customizable features. Researchers documented Kronos after analyzing its dark web advertisement, not from an initial infection wave. RaaSberry ransomware. Extortion became accessible to amateurs. RaaSberry launched on Tor marketplaces as a simple ransomware kit. It generated Windows executables that encrypted files and demanded cryptocurrency payments. The control infrastructure operated as a hidden service, shielding operators from identification. The builder required minimal technical knowledge. Its first traceable footprint was a marketplace listing that described its features and pricing. Atom ransomware. Even ransomware offered documentation and support. Atom, also known as Shark ransomware, was introduced on underground Tor forums. Affiliates received user guides and access to a management panel. Atom encrypted files using AES and secured keys with RSA. It demonstrated how ransomware operations mirrored legitimate SaaS platforms. Its launch was documented through forum posts recruiting affiliates. Cerber ransomware. It taunted victims with automated speech. Cerber ransomware was promoted heavily on AlphaBay and other Tor-based forums. It used AES 256 encryption and exploited outdated Windows vulnerabilities. One of its distinctive features was a text-to-speech ransom note that read instructions aloud. Researchers first identified Cerber by monitoring affiliate recruitment threads before widespread global infections occurred.